Hi folks, the concerned citizens here with a pillar of the community, the meteorologist with the best three ball, and a man who speaks straight from the heart. I am, of course, not talking about Nick Maples. I am talking about Todd Howell. Thank you for joining us, Todd.
It's my pleasure. Hey, glad to be here. Hold on. I had some Cheetos for lunch. Wipe that off my face a little bit. It's my pleasure to be here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, with a man who speaks straight, we think we're going to get some straight answers about the weather. But first of all, Todd,
Yeah.
if you were to lace it up right now, go out on the court, what would be the chance of precipitation?
Oh, my goodness. From the ball actually going in from me, probably 30%. I'd like to say 100% raining threes, but it's been a hot second or two since I've played, so unfortunately, now free throws, I feel much better about that, maybe 80%, 8 out of 10 maybe. From the three, I'm going to go 30%, and probably spotty, maybe widely scattered.
So, Todd, there's been a lot of rumors, a lot of people murmuring. There's been a change in the weather apps, as we see, as a real field temperature is different than the temperature. And we would like an explanation on the conspiracy, because it just seems like to us, the concerned citizens, the real field temperature is just the temperature.
Just the temperature. All right, hold on, let me check my app. You know what? There's the real. It's the same thing as the feels like. People call it feels like temperature, the real field temperature, the apparent temperature. But if there's no wind, the real feel and the temperature should be exactly the same when it's cool outside. Now, as far as the wind chill, if you get a wind blowing and it's cool outside, that real feel will be cooler than the actual temperature. Now, here's what's going on. A little technical, but that wind blows across your skin. Man, I need lotion. Anyway, blows across your skin, and it takes the heat away. So that's what it makes it feel cooler. Now, in the heat index, opposite in the summertime, because we're moving into the warm month, and it's hot, it's humid outside. The air, I'm sweating, but I can't, my body's trying to cool. So when it's hot and it's humid, that makes it feel hotter than that actual air temperature. So sometimes that real feel does tell you a little bit more when you have a wind when it's cool and when you have high humidity when it's hot.
Sounds like it's the difference between somebody who went to college and somebody that didn't.
So, Todd,
yes,
most important question of the day, maybe, because it came from my wife.
Palms are sweating a little bit, but go ahead.
Him and Slim Shady.
Yeah.
So when it says there's a
Lotion to it.
60% chance of rain,
Yep.
what does that actually mean?
That's a great question. How much time we got? We used to never do percentages, honestly, because if you say 50% chance of rain, a lot of people would say, maybe it will, maybe it won't. 50 chance. Well, here's what it's not. And then I'll tell you what it is. It's not a piece of the pie. It's not 50% will see it, 50% won't see it, or it's not really that. It's actually, and it comes from the Weather Service, it's actually, here's the technical part, a probability of any one place in East Tennessee receiving measurable precipitation. So here's the thing. Here's why we have to use it because people go on it. But if it rains for 10 minutes and it measures at a particular location, so that verified, you could say, well, I guess that worked. But the problem is a lot of times people apply that percentage. If it's 60% chance, it's a decent chance of rain. And that's not a bad, but people apply that to, well, how much of the day is it going to be? So we'll try to say in the morning or in the afternoon, in the evening. We try to give a day part to it. But honestly, it was the reason I'm not a huge fan of percentages, because when I was growing up watching the weather, if they said, it was my experience, just my observation in general, taking my meteorologist hat off, just being like a regular viewer, if they had 40% chance, guess what I observe? It'd probably rain that day. And so it's not like that's less than 50, maybe it won't. But anyway, so when the chances get to be above 40, 50, and then 60% higher, it's a good chance of rain. I'll seldom use 100%. And here's why. If we say 100%, my thinking, a lot of people I think, well, it's going to rain all day, the whole time. And a lot of times, it won't rain the whole day, all the time. It may rain a lot of the day, but then it breaks in the late afternoon, evening, So there's a little bit of perception that goes along with it. So hope is that clear as mud, or is it?
Yes. Are you telling me there's going to be mud later? And it's going to be raining?
There's a 60% chance.
Yeah, to me, Todd, every day is 50% chance because it's either going to rain or it's not. So I'm with you on all that.
That's a good point.
Actually, I've been a baseball coach for around 9 years.
Right.
And a lot of us in the baseball community really lean on these apps and lean on the live radar.
Right.
A lot of us have been talking. We feel after Googling it that the dew point is just something you've all made up. Can you explain what the dew point is?
Yeah, absolutely. Dew point is actually a really good measure of the moisture in the atmosphere. It's better than the relative humidity. So here we go. You ever thought about that? It's like they call it the relative humidity. Relative to what? It's relative to the air temperature. So it can be 88 degrees outside. The humidity is 42%, but it can be humid. So that I don't seem that humid, but the dew point may be 67. So when the dew point is 60 degrees or higher, it's getting humid in the warm months. So it does tell you, if you look at that dew point, regardless of the temperature, it'll tell you how humid it is outside. So no, it is not. I love the dew point. And in the wintertime, boy, if you get that dew point in the teens and your air temperature's in the upper 30s and you got moisture moving in, you say, well, it's not going to snow because it's in the upper 30s. Hold on, look at the dew point. If it's in the teens and low 20s, as the moisture moves in, when you throw moisture into dry air and low dew points, I'm getting technical, but it's all right. You throw that in, that evaporates. And evaporation is a cooling process. So that low dew point is going to cool the air, and guess where they're going to meet? Probably close to freezing. So if you like snow, you want low dew points. If you don't like humidity, you want low dew points. If you want to sweat, you want high dew points. So here's a quick thing, baseball. You can have your players and the parents, you know, a lot of people don't know this. What type of weather will you see more home runs? When it's hot and humid and the air may feel heavy, that's a quote, or when it's cool and dry or the air's dry? What would you think?
Cool and dry.
That's what a lot of people may think, because it's not as heavy. Guess what? No.
Oh.
Here we go. It's all about air density. When it's humid, the air is actually less dense and more buoyant. So that baseball is going to travel farther on a warm, humid night or day than it is on a cool, dry day. So tell your number 4 hitter, just give him a little, you got this, Jack, or whatever his name. And is his name Jack, by the way?
Johnny.
Okay.
I just made that
J,
up.
right? All right, that's good. We can go ahead and tell Johnny, say, hey, it's a warm, humid night. You got this. Send it over left field fence. But anyway, just a little side note.
Well, baseball community, it's not a made-up number, and I am officially blown away.
All right, Todd, back in 2001, my granny was painting some doors, and she didn't think it was going to rain that day, so she left them out. Well, it ended up raining. And so...
Was it on the weekend or a weekday?
Well, I think it was a Tuesday.
God.
But ever since then, she's kind of swore you off and never forgave you. I was just wondering if you had anything to say to Alretta Walker.
Well, that's why I asked if it was on a weekend or a weekday, because if it's on the weekday, that falls on me, my shoulders. Sincerely apologize. It happens. I've had a lot of bad forecasts. That was probably one of them. I really have. I'll be the first to raise my hand. And you know what the toughest thing is? It's kind of like, and I know, Brother Nick, pastor here, you say, you give your word, or you say something, what you said, you want that to be true, and you know what you said. So a lot of times if I wake up the next day and it's raining, we talked about it being sunny, close the curtains, hop back in bed, bedroom. No, but we have those. Yeah, I so apologize. That's probably, I've had quite a few of those, and I don't know if it helps anybody else, but while you're cringing and throwing things at the TV, at the meteorologist, or maybe using some choice words perhaps, but we're cringing too. I don't know if it helps anybody else. As a meteorologist, you feel bad. All we really want to do is try to get it right, or get it close to getting it right. Like a student taking a test. If you can't get 100, well, how about 95 or a 90? That's what we're shooting for, honestly. You just want to try to get it right. So, sincere apologies. May your future days be AB days.
Okay.
May all your skies be blue. May all your clouds be puffy and cumulus clouds. May the wind be at your back. And peace.
So should we send you an invoice for those doors?
Absolutely not.
Really important question here.
Okay.
Concerned citizens definitely want to know this one.
Okay.
Are you sponsored by any of these name brands, Mayfield, Wonder Bread, any of these milk and bread companies?
Milk and bread companies, like grocery stores and products. Not officially. No, I don't know if they do that on the side. Social media, you never know. No, so one of the jokes sometimes right before our weathercast and on the news, and this has been a while back, but they used to, especially in the wintertime, we would laugh at it too because we see the same thing you're saying. It'd come on and say, tonight's weather sponsored by, and this has happened in the past, but tonight's weather sponsored by Kroger. If we just start laughing because we're getting ready to talk about, well, there's snow showers. And we knew how that was going to be perceived, going back to that perception thing. And people go, I get it. That was interesting. But we're sitting there at the desk, and we don't know what commercials are coming on, right? And they roll that, tonight's weather sponsored by Kroger. I'm just like, this is hilarious. So, but no, not officially. Now, if there's a local chicken store, fast food restaurant that, that has some of the best chicken and customer service in town, if they ever wanted to sponsor, that's just a total side note, but that's not necessarily an appeal, but it would be our pleasure to certainly probably do that. I have to check my bosses first on that, actually. Man, I want to get back to you on that, actually. Yeah.
All right, so Union County officials have been accused of contracting some cloud seeding Now, that's come from the depths of conspiracy theories to now, we believe mostly confirmed reports of that technology existing. So what's your opinion on cloud seeding, and can these Union County officials contract that out?
Okay, hold on. Let me go check the clouds real quick. No such thing as, no such thing as chemtrails, so let's make sure to get that out of the way. Now, there is such thing as cloud seeding. Yeah, I know, we just took a hard right-hand turn there. There is such thing as cloud seeding. Back in the day, they tried to seed clouds to help prevent weather modification, or technical name, to help hurricanes or tropical systems not be as strong. But here's the big problem. Are you helping that or hurting that? Are you causing that thing to dissipate, or are you making that storm? Whenever you get into weather modification or cloud seeding, it's a slippery slope. Mm-hmm. And they used to do it out west too, but then the farmers in the plain states would say, no, don't seed those clouds. They wanted to get the moisture in the mountains, build up the water reservoir, but that would take the moisture from getting in the plains that would otherwise occur. So it's kind of a couple of side notes. But as far as Union County specifically, back to your original question, and the cloud seeding, No. Union County is a wonderful, beautiful community and place in East Tennessee, and nope, all the moisture you need from Norris Lake is provided right there.
Obviously been paid off by Mayor Bailey. He got to you first. This is still under further investigation. Todd, obviously weather most of the time comes off the plateau into East Tennessee. Really hard to predict. We understand that. We've got nothing but grace for that field, and they always say East Tennessee is just very hard to predict the weather. And if you don't like the weather, wait 20 minutes.
That's right.
And so you got a difficult job, but over the years you've been a staple in our community. We've invited you and trusted you in our homes. We love you. But what's the most impactful weather event that you can recall in your mind that sticks out to you the most in East Tennessee?
Wow. Right off the top of my head, a couple, April 27th, 2011, we were on air about 9.5 hours. Mike Witcher and I, among others, that was when we had the tornado outbreak and the large hail, several of those storms, very impactful. That day was very impactful. It broke the previous benchmark for tornado outbreak, which you thought would never be broken, which was April 3rd and 4th, 1974. So when you talk about the April 3rd and 4th, 1974, that was always the biggest tornado outbreak for the longest time. April 27th, 2011 surpassed that. So that's one of the ones that stands out. Another one was May 18th, 1995. and we had softball-sized hail coming from Oliver Springs to Halls, from Roan County. Remember that? Even one of our producers brought in. It was about a softball-sized hail, and that would even some melting. Put it in his freezer and brought it in. Anyway, that was a very impactful storm. I was not here for the blizzard. Doggone it! Would have loved to be here. By the way, I love snow. My heart, what got me interested in weather when I was about 4th, 5th grade was snow. I love snow. When I was in school, always looking out the window to see when it starts snowing. But anyway, so there's been some pretty good snowfall. Thunder snow. I remember that. That was a few years ago at 3:30 in the morning. Finally heard. I love thunder snow. That's a rare thing. But those are a couple of the main events that, among others, that stick out to me.
I think I speak for everybody when I say, when Todd says take cover, I take cover. And thank you for everything you do. Seriously.
Well, thank you, Nick. Seriously, it is our pleasure. I thank God. That God, as I just mentioned, He gave me a passion, a love for weather at an early age, and I thank God for that, because He gives us our passion, our desires, and He molds them, and so I thank God that He's called me to do something I really, really love to do. I really do, even on the days where I, get the forecast wrong or miss it, and so forth. But I love weather, what God's created, be able to talk about something that, He's given me the desires of my heart. And so thank you so much for having me. And you do a wonderful job. You're a blessing to many, many people. You make us laugh. You do a lot of great things. I love your heart, Nick, and your passion. And Seth, thank you. Y'all do a wonderful job for what you do in the community and to help encourage people. And I think that's what we're all trying to do is, speak life through the word and make people laugh, cheer them up. And we all need to be an encouragement to each other. So thank you for what you do.
Absolutely.
All right, Todd, thank you for taking the time to meet with us today. We've learned some stuff. Jury's still out on some things regarding those Union County officials. Bailey, Lawson, Blakely. We can't forget Blakely. He's definitely in on it. Todd, thank you for taking the time today.
My pleasure. Yeah.
Will you ever speak to us again?
Absolutely. Matter of fact, I'd love to treat y'all to some good Chick-fil-A sometime. How about that? We could just kind of reminisce and catch up. So, hey, I've enjoyed it. It's been a blast.
Unpaid sponsorship for now.
See you Tuesday. Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the magical meteorologist, Todd Howell.
Yep. My pleasure. Thank you.